Good morning, welcome to TERRA at Home. We're back with Colleen Zimmerman from TERRA, and we're now officially in the fall. So we're talking about birds and bringing birds into your garden, into your environment. Some people just love that and love to see the variety of birds that we do have in our region. So we're figuring out ways of how to entice them into our yard.
Yes, there are tons of different birds that are in our areas. So not only are they good for the environment to create that, that interest of having wildlife in your backyard,
right,
but it's also good for them, and it's the visual as well as the sound, because you get some really pretty sounding songbirds.
They absolutely do, and it's really quite nice. I remember when I moved to my other place before, I remember thinking, wow, I had never heard so many birds before, but it was like the way it had my yard had been strategically planted that I was seeing birds and hearing birds that I had never seen or heard before. So it is really nice to have that. So some tips that we can talk about today, and of course some of the food that we'll bring them in, and obviously the right food for the right feeder.
Exactly.
Is important.
Yes, yes.
We don't want to tease the birds.
No, and we'll start off in the fall. Some birds do migrate south, so it is important to keep feeding them until they start migrating, because that's when they need a lot of energy. So hummingbirds, most people think of them mostly in the spring and summer, but they actually don't migrate until later fall, like when we start getting frost.
Okay.
So you'll want to keep feeding them. This is just a little hummingbird feeder.
Look at that, that's so cute.
And just keep feeding them until frost, and then that gives them the energy, because they got to fly a long way with those little flapping wings.
I know. They've got to put out a lot of energy. They're burning a lot of calories. So let's talk about the what you would put in there. I know generally people say sugar water, right?
Yeah, we have it like a pre-mixed that you just dilute with water, and you're good to go with that. Or you can do a mix of sugar and water as well, 4 to 1.
Okay, all right, good to know.
Okay. Yep. And also, because it's migrating season too, you can also provide water for the bird, either in a bird bath, or this is actually a hanging waterer. So you just fill this up with water, and then it's like a little moat around here so that they can drink out of that too.
Oh, that's actually really cute.
So, because it can still be warm days during the fall.
Absolutely.
So
absolutely,
that's good too.
Especially this time of year, we're still getting some really warm days, and a lot of times as we're moving even into October, you're
definitely
getting, when we talk about some of the fall fairs you're at, it's hot.
For sure.
So they need some water. Okay.
And one of my favorite birds are the goldfinches, and a lot of people think that they migrate over the winter, but they don't. They change color. They go kind of a muddy brown color, because
so they actually don't go anywhere. They just change color.
No, they just change color.
Oh, those sneaky little things.
Well, can you imagine a yellow bird on white snow?
No.
A little bit of a target.
It is. That's a serious target. That's just. I love nature. You're gonna love that. That's so funny. So they actually just darken.
Yeah, so they just go darker, and the finches love Niger as well as a few other seeds. So they're the small, tiny seeds. So this here is the gold standard. So you can see this is a mix of seed. It's got the Niger seed and the sunflower chips in there, and they feed in the feeders with the teeny tiny little holes. So there's different versions of that. This is actually a fun one. I think my kids love this.
Yeah.
It's a ball, but then it unscrews.
Oh, look at that.
And then this is just a mesh sock.
Yeah.
So then you put the seed in there, the seed stays in there, and then they have tiny little beaks that
they're just going in through there. Oh, isn't that cool?
And then it's got a little hole in the top so that you can fill it in the top. And then if you wanted to ever take it down for the season.
Easy. You're mentioning your kids too. This is actually really great for kids to be part of this. And a lot of times, you're talking about summer camps or at school where they make maybe a little bird feeder. They try to make, a little something, right? But kids love this. And then they actually can see, okay, you know what? I get to put food in here and I get to watch these little guys come. And it's a nice connection for them.
Yeah, and with older kids, you can have them keep a little journal. They can watch it for a little while, draw a picture of the bird. What did the bird sound like? What did he look like? What did he eat?
That's
and then
really
they can
cool.
kind of keep their own little birding notes.
No, it's good. It's all part of education of life, right? So I love that idea. Okay.
And another fun thing, I know a lot of people have squirrels, but you can actually feed the squirrels.
Instead of I remember I used to have a squirrel that would literally jump from one tree and hang off my bird feeder, and he would swing like a superhero and try to get all the bird seed.
Yeah.
So instead, I just feed them.
These are peanuts in the shell.
Oh, that's so funny.
These are different than the ones that you buy in the grocery store. Because the ones in the grocery store are roasted. These ones are raw. So then they just go in here, and not only do squirrels like it, but the larger birds like the grackles and the blue jays also love this, and it's a treat, and you can watch them. I have one customer who would watch them. They'd only put it out in the morning because they'd finish it in like an hour. They have so many blue jays.
Well, they're just like this is like bonus backyard, right? Oh, that is so fun.
So it's really fun to watch them.
Okay, you know what? And again, especially for kids too, people love it, and some people just love feeding the squirrels. So especially at least blue jays are coming too. So
and if you did want to use this to feed the squirrels, put this away from your main bird feeders. So then it detracts them from the expensive seed.
Yeah, well, absolutely. And the birds are also saying, I don't know about you, squirrel.
Exactly.
So, right? So keep that away. Okay, that's cool. I love that idea. Okay, what's this one here?
This one is for peanuts as well, but this is for shelled peanuts.
Okay.
So this one is for some of the smaller birds that, their beaks aren't strong enough to crack through the shells, but they still really like the peanuts. So cardinals and different things like that.
Okay, neat.
Really like that.
Hey, that actually looks nice too, that one. All right.
And for the other migrating birds, the suet is very popular in the wintertime.
Yes.
High energy, and there's tons of different varieties too. You can actually feed suet all year round. So this is just kind of a fun suet feeder. So you just pop it open, and then this has a single. You take it out of the plastic and you pop it in there.
Oh, that's neat. That's actually
so it looks a little bit more decorative too.
Well, it does. Yeah, absolutely does. Okay, very good.
Okay, and then if you're living in a small area, or birdseed can be messy. Let's admit it, because of all the shells and things like that.
It does,
we have a no waste blend that all the shelves have been removed. So everything in that mix, the birds will eat.
Okay.
So there's no shells on the bottom, there's no nothing. So there's millet in there, there's sunflower, there's chipped corn, tons of things. So like finches, cardinals, like all the favorite birds will come and eat it.
There's no waste from this. They'll just eat all of that.
Exactly.
So anything that falls to the ground, they're going to get that too.
Yeah, then the ground feeders will get that.
Great. Okay, very good. I love all these. So we are showing. So this is just the pink version, the yellow one we're showing. But these are actually very, very cute. And again, just really nice ideas for kids as well. Just
and those ones are great for your shelled peanuts or for your sunflower seeds.
Okay.
And so they attract a wide range of birds too.
Okay, very good. And
birdhouses usually think of in spring, because most birds will nest in spring.
Right.
However, it's nice in the wintertime to have that little interest in your garden.
That's cute.
And so it's like a permanent thing that you can just kind of keep watch. In the wintertime. And some of the larger feeders, like the blue butterfly feeder
that's
here.
Very pretty, that one.
So it's just, again, it's just kind of accessorizing your garden, because in the wintertime, there's not a whole lot of color out there.
Well, no, there's not, and I think that's something to think about. So, again, a lot of times people, if you don't have the plant life that's actually growing, that's attracting some of the birds, so then you're thinking, okay, winter, when my yard's not looking that pretty, and I do want to still have some of the birds, and it's beautiful to see a beautiful cardinal in your backyard in the middle of the winter.
Yes,
right?
Sure.
So there are definitely some options. And again, come in and ask questions, right? Because again, there's still lots of questions you can ask, and you didn't mention this one as well, right? This
that one's for finches. So that one's great too, because you can put that on just a little hook in one of your planters, or anywhere, just to attract them. So that's great for your little goldfinches or purple finches. Yeah.
So I mean, pretty much a lot of it's self-explanatory, but again, still some good questions, especially when it comes to suet and whatever it may be. Just to to get some of these guys in your yard, and again, it just feels good.
Yes, and any space, even on a balcony, you can have birds coming to your balcony too. So
that's the thing, like we're talking small spaces too. People with very small yards, you can still have that and have them come in. They're just these little, and they're looking for food. They want you.
Oh, for sure.
Right? Especially those little hummingbirds that are about to do the big race.
Yeah, they chase you if it's not full. So.
They do, aren't they? They're diving at your head. You don't want that. So once you start feeding, you're committed. That's all we have to say. Thanks, Colleen. Good stuff. That's it for now. We'll be back with more.
Heritage Perennials. Look for us in the blue pots.
Good morning. Welcome back to TERRA Home. I'm here with Lori from Beanermunky Chocolate in downtown Dundas, and we love coming to this place because
we love having you.
Oh, it's just so much fun. You guys are so great, but also we're surrounded by so many ways to use chocolate. It's not just your average chocolate store. I find you guys really go out of your way to
we do.
add
That's
variety.
the fun part for us, actually.
Well,
doing something outside the box.
Well, you want to wake up and be excited to come to work too, right? So you guys are always coming up with kind of fun ideas and also really sticking to sort of themes and holidays, of course, right?
Yeah,
because obviously,
absolutely.
you know, with gifting and that, and you know, it's endless, right?
Yeah.
So obviously now we're into fall, and we're talking all about that push towards fall. And one thing that people love in fall are candy apples.
Oh yeah, they're lots of fun to do. Yeah, and a great gift to give, as you said, to anybody. But fun to share too, because they're actually kind of big. So we make really big caramel apples, and I find it's a lot for one person to eat.
Look at these.
So,
I mean, I always think they're such a great idea for a birthday gift as well. Like honestly, you give that, especially for females, for some reason, a girl just loves getting one of these. It's just so exciting because maybe you're not going to go by yourself and go buy one.
Yeah.
So it's really nice to get it as a gift. But again, yes,
then
you can take it, chop it up in quarters.
We find if you slice it up, it's shareable. It's a lot easier than trying to get the whole thing
and it's
yourself.
healthy because it's an apple.
It's an apple, yeah. So we actually use apples. We try to use local as much as we can, and we find that if we use these ones are actually Jonah Gold's from Bennett's in Ancaster, and
nice.
when you buy them from the farm market or from farms directly, they don't wax the apples, where grocery store apples are waxed.
Yes.
So if we find it's a little harder to get the caramel to stick to the apples.
No doubt.
Yeah. Another thing to watch for is get a nicely shaped apple. You want to take the stem out, and you want to make sure there's not a single blemish on the skin, or no little cuts or
something
dings
like biting
from
into
it.
the apple when you get past the candy or the chocolate or whatever, and then you've got like.
Well, it's important in this case because if the caramel touches any of the apple juice in the apple, it completely liquefies.
Right, so you actually get the candy won't stick to it? Is that what
It'll be okay. It'll stick to it, but then after a few hours or the next day, you're going to find all the caramel has come in contact with the apple juice, and it just completely liquefies it. So it's also really important if you're making these at home to make sure that you don't stick the apple all the way through the bottom. So I've got a little trick for how to do that. I will hold the stick like this.
Yep.
And I'll use my thumb as a guide, so I know that's not going to go through the bottom, right?
Okay.
So we're going to stick that in like that.
Oh, that's smart.
So now we know it didn't come through the bottom.
This is good because, you know, a lot of times people like to try to do these with their kids, right? I mean, they're never going to turn out looking like this, but they're fun to do with
you can get pretty close
with kids,
if you,
right?
if you follow our tips.
But that's a good tip because, again, there are times when you have made them homemade and you wrap them and then you wonder why
and then
they're all
gooey and liquidy. And if you follow this, now you're going to dip the apple in the caramel, and you're going to watch when you dip. You want to just come to the edge here. You don't want to go in to where I've pierced it with the stick.
For the same reason?
So for the exact same reason, it'll completely liquefy. So you're going to take that apple, plunge it into our hot caramel that we've got already pre-melted. That's it, and then just give it a roll around like so. That's perfect. See, we didn't come right to the edge there.
Yep.
Just hold it straight up. Yep, sorry, straight up. Let it drip a little bit.
Okay.
You're going to get some, and if you can just rotate it a little, I'm going to take off a little bit of the excess caramel with this spoon.
Okay.
There we go. Just let it sit for another few seconds there, and you're going to put that on the parchment paper that we've got ready there.
So we're good?
Yeah, I think you're good. That looks pretty good.
Here we go.
Onto there. That's perfect.
Nice.
Alrighty, so we've this actually will take a little while to cool. So what we're going to do is we've got some prepared, and we're going to have Brittany just bring in. We're going to get rid of this caramel, and we're going to change it for a bowl of prepared chocolate.
So that smells like some yummy caramel you had there. That's the thing. So I mean, I've never made apples where I've been using more than just the caramel. So you're adding layers of fun here.
You could actually eat it just like that. Maybe add some nuts, some chopped nuts or anything, or just that's totally fine like that. But we like to go to the next level, and we're going to dip them in chocolate. So we've let these ones, you can see they're cooled down. They've sat for quite a while. So now you're going to take that apple. We're going to use this spoon. Yep, it's peeled off there, and just plunge it. And this time you want the chocolate to go all the way up to the stick. Yeah. And if you need to, you can use that spoon to kind of
cover up the chocolate on there.
And that's going to help to keep it nice and fresh.
Here.
Oh yeah, there.
I'm totally like no.
There you go. Bring it right up.
Not good with the left hand.
Yep, bring it, scoop it all the way so there you go. It's perfect in there now.
There we go.
Yep. You can just put the spoon on the little green pad there if you want. So now you just want to give it a few surface taps, and that's gonna you're gonna have it touch it and come up like that. Do that a few times. And what that does is it takes off some of the excess chocolate. Just let it drip for a little minute. That's good. Now over here, we've prepared some chopped up Smarties. So we're gonna make a little indent in there, and you're just gonna nestle that right into the.
Here we go.
Right, and just Now,
Get them in there.
yep, that's good. Now take the spoon and just bring up the edges. Yeah, all the way. You're going to go all the way around and bring it, trying not to touch it with your hand. That's it. Yep. Put lots on there, Leslie. Come on, there you go.
Okay, if you said so.
At Beanermunky, we load everything
I
up.
know,
Everything's
you guys
got to be
are
super
great.
loaded.
Okay,
That's
is that
awesome.
good?
So that looks really good.
Okay.
So now we've got a few extra little.
you can
See what
have,
we've
like, a
done
little
here?
pretty-
We
oh,
like to
yeah.
go around and just place a few on there.
cute.
So
Okay,
do
I
that.
can
So
do that
just
without trying to
pop
touch it.
whatever and
Oh.
give it a little push
Get
to
up there, mister.
adhere it. Yeah. Now the other thing you have to watch is if you put something like this on and it slides down,
Yes.
your caramel's going to ooze out through
Oh,
So just
yeah,
give it a
we don't
little
want that.
press. There you go. That's looking pretty
Trying
good.
to have variety here.
Yeah, that's
Okay,
right.
we'll do one more.
Do one more, any color you
Let's do
want.
red. There
yeah,
we go.
Give it a little press in there, just to adhere it.
There we
So
go.
that looks pretty good.
Very
You've got,
good.
yep. So
Okay.
now you're going to take this spoon again. Just take a little bit. See how we did? And we're
of
just
those
going to
little
put a
crumbles?
little crumblies on the top because that kind of looks nice too.
Okay.
Yeah, we're getting a slider here, but we
Yeah,
can fix it.
He's going.
See if they don't turn out, you have to eat them. So
This is the
yeah.
problem.
There you go.
I love it.
There
That's
you
so
go.
great.
So then we would let that sit there for a few more seconds.
Now,
and
what
let it
other
cool.
options do you guys do when it comes to candy toppings? Because you
Well,
can
we'll
see
do
some of the variety
seasonal
here.
ones, yeah, which we change up a little bit too. This one
look
here,
at
we've
this
done a
guy.
milk chocolate, and that's a peanut butter drizzle, and we've set it in chopped peanuts instead of the M&Ms. Yeah, that's a delicious one because the
pretty
peanuts,
wild,
the
yeah.
peanut butter, the apple,
Yes.
the caramel, all goes really well
And
together.
are those Reese's candies?
That is Reese's, yeah,
Oh,
and we've
nice.
dipped that one
Yeah,
in
hold on,
a
let's see.
peanut butter chocolate.
he's
so it's
heavy.
a little,
Oh my
it's
goodness.
very heavy. And then this one is kind of like we call that our triple chocolate decadent.
Mm-hmm.
It's milk, and then we've just drizzled on some white chocolate and then a little bit of dark chocolate because some adults don't like all the little,
Yeah.
candy sprinkles on there.
Yeah.
But then seasonally we would do things for Christmas. We would do things for Halloween. Yeah, whatever your
basically,
imagination
this
can
is
take
so
you.
perfect for what we're talking about right now with fall, with candy
Look
apples,
how yours
right?
is going to look. There's
oh yeah, mine's
yours
just
ready
hanging
for
in there.
presentation there. Look at
Collecting
that.
as much candy
Oh,
as
it's-
possible.
It's just dripping.
It's
with-
actually alive. It's moving. But I
Yeah.
love that. So candy apples all year round, really.
All year round we do them, yeah.
Okay.
And these are like our standard ones that we'll do all throughout the year, but we'll also switch it up for seasons too to make it fun.
Do you guys
yeah.
do weddings?
We can, and you can actually do a really nice all white one, and then we can do a tuxedo with the matching one, which is kind of fun too. Yeah,
Because you imagine
Weddings
a
are
fall
fun.
wedding and having
Perfect.
one for everybody at the,
Yeah,
at
it'd
the
be really
table.
perfect. Yeah, a really nice take home.
Great
yeah.
idea.
That's
So
it.
obviously with fall, and I mean, you really take all of your other chocolates in your store and you theme them up for each
We do,
season, right?
yeah, we do. When we get a little closer to Thanksgiving, we also do a pumpkin pie truffle. So we like to introduce the seasons into the chocolates as well as the confections and dip things that we do here as well.
Wow.
Yeah.
So this is a reason to just keep coming back.
Yay!
Come back weekly.
It's awesome. yeah,
Come back
do it.
daily.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Lori,
You're
for letting
very
us in this space
welcome.
again.
You did a great job.
Thank you. I'm excited about that guy. All right, that's it for now. More TERRA at Home after this.
You've sat under them and built forts in them. You've swung from them and fell out of them. You've even fallen in love under them. Trees have always held a special place in our hearts and memories. A natural beauty, trees will grow with you and your family and bring color and nature into your world. For your assurance of quality, look for trees and shrubs with the Medallion plant tag. Medallion plants, locally grown, the pride of Niagara.
AM 900 CHML is giving you more news when you want it most. Non-stop news weekday mornings 5 till 9, weekday afternoons 3 to 6, with weather and traffic on the 9s. Hear about it first from AM 900 CHML, Hamilton's news talk leader.
Good morning. Welcome back to TERRA at Home. We are in the TERRA kitchen right now, and we're back with Chef Iain. And today we're doing something perfect. It's going to be barbecued, but let's talk about this lovely cut of meat that we have here.
We have still some really warm days of September with us. One of my favorite sort of appetizers or a main entree is Korean short ribs. Just a little bit of preparation, but really, really quick on the barbecue. So it's a great, it's a hosting dinner.
It
Leaves
totally
you time
is.
to mingle with your friends and guests,
Yep.
have a glass of wine, glass of beer, and not so much time in front of the barbecue.
And that's the great part about it. And the reasoning for that is because they are such a thin cut of meat, right? And
a thin cut of meat,
tender.
just a minute or two on the barbecue when it's finished.
I love that, and you just kind of sear it up, right?
Yep. What we're going to do right now is we're going to put together a marinade.
Okay.
It's heavy on the soy, so not a lot of salt is needed. We marinate it for a couple of hours is good. 4 or 5 hours is great. Overnight is better. It's just the brown sugar and the vinegars and the sesame oil is really going to give it some flavor.
So I think when people are, if you know, when we're talking about the entertainment side of things, often you are trying to do as much prep ahead of time as possible, right? So that you don't have the stress. So if you can do this the day ahead of time, that's even better, right? So you're not even doing it the day of because you're preparing drinks and you're preparing everything else that comes with that event. And it just gets stressful. So this is easy. Get it done and get it in there, and it's going to really be flavorful.
Preparation is key.
Yeah.
For sure. So I'm just adding to my bowl some scallions or green onions.
Okay.
And from there, I'm going to add my soy. It is a good cup of soy.
So you're using full-on sodium soy.
Soy.
Okay.
Nothing healthy, chock full of sugar, deliciousness. It's great. To which I'm going to add a 1/4 cup of sesame oil. And then I'm going to add my rice wine vinegar and some wonderful aromatics. The great thing is I add my brown sugar.
Okay.
And that is going to make some wonderful caramelization when the time comes.
Oh yes.
Yes.
That would be good. I can just imagine.
10 cloves of garlic, like I said, lots of flavor.
Yes.
And some dried red chili flakes.
Oh, you put all those in there?
Oh, nice
at that.
spicy. Yep. And just a
Okay, so let's
quick
show
spin, yeah.
everybody at home and see what they can. Okay, so that was a fair amount. So how much was that in terms of hot peppers?
hot peppers.
The chili peppers.
Good teaspoon
Okay.
and a half.
Yeah.
Eyeballed it really.
Generous. Okay.
There you go. And quite
All right.
honestly,
And
we're just
then-
gonna pour over our short ribs. And like I said before, you know, whether you want to serve it as an entree, it also makes a great appetizer, just a smaller portion as appetizers. Today, I'm going to put it with some wonderful fresh green beans.
Okay.
Simple is great. Little bit of olive oil, little bit of lemon zest, little salt, little fresh cracked pepper. And then one of my favorites with the meal is some hard-boiled baked new potatoes.
Yes.
Wrapped in bacon and just finished off on the barbecue.
See, that's what's great about it. Again, this time of year, we're still getting some of the real fresh local stuff. So those little potatoes are awesome. And as you say, I mean, you can just, really with anything, I love the look of them. We'll show them after when we come back. But again, just taking those really easy, quick little bite. Right,
Yeah.
to add to your plate. So again, we're talking about the entertainment factor here.
And we were talking also about the preparation as well. The potatoes and the bacon can be done ahead of time. And like I said, just onto the barbecue as it goes.
Right, okay.
And it only just takes a few minutes to finish off, so you can time it with your ribs as well.
And I think that's the best part too. So even when you are having to cook while your guests are there, again, having a barbecue, at least everyone's sitting out the back, hopefully at the barbecue
Exactly.
going, and you can still converse. So you don't really have anything else going on in the kitchen. Everything can be done out there. Okay, I want to talk a little bit about, as you poured the marinade on here, I noticed you kind of moved everything around. You were making sure everything was exposed to the marinade.
Just everything was coated with it properly. Like I said, the longer that we leave it in the fridge to sort of absorb all the flavor, the better. So like I said, I'm just making sure that we get everything nice and coated before it stays into the fridge.
Okay, and then you're going to wrap this.
Yes,
Right?
just wrap
Oh,
it with
this
a
is
little
right
plastic
after?
wrap,
Okay.
and into the fridge it goes.
Okay, now the cut of meat, if someone was going to the store, do they ask for just short rib? Is there any specifics behind this cut?
You can find short ribs at your local supermarket. I prefer going to a specialty market.
Right.
Just with regards to the particular quality, with the particular cut itself, I have the best of luck at a specialty market myself.
Okay, that's what I seem to find sometimes. But I don't know, I guess maybe I've been a little bit spoiled, but I tend to go, I go for I try to get the best when it comes to fish and meat. So you're trying to go to a specific shop, then you know exactly what you're getting, right?
Most
and again,
definitely.
you're also dealing maybe with a little bit of quality difference.
And again, there's no preservatives, there's no phosphates or anything like that in this particular
that's
cut. So
key.
again, really conscientious as to what's going in your
Right.
meat or the fish.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay. So basically, at this point, it's a cover-up, and when we come back from break, again, we're going to show you've already prepared our little potatoes wrapped in bacon.
Yeah, we'll put together a presentation plate. Like I said, it takes a few quick minutes on the barbecue, and when we come back, I'll put the plate together.
Okay, and the best part too is something like this, if you cut them all up, you can lay them all out and just let people help themselves as well, right?
Well said,
Versus
yeah, of
even putting it
course.
in a plate.
So you could do a family platter?
Yeah,
Definitely.
and just have a big giant party. Okay,
great.
this sounds fun. Okay, so what we'll do is that we'll take a quick break, we'll come back, we'll put it all together, and we're extending summer as far and as long as we possibly can. We'll be right back.
Well said.
You've sat under them and built forts in them. You've swung from them and fell out of them. You've even fallen in love under them. Trees have always held a special place in our hearts and memories. A natural beauty, trees will grow with you and your family and bring color and nature into your world. For your assurance of quality, look for trees and shrubs with the Medallion plant tag. Medallion plants, locally grown, the pride of Niagara.
All right, welcome back to TERRA Home, and look what we have here. We have a beautiful plate of grilled short ribs and our lovely accompaniment. So let's just remind everybody, again, you put this great marinade together.
Yep.
And
primarily soy sauce.
Yes.
There's some brown sugar. We had some rice wine vinegar, some sesame oil, as well as a little red chili flake to give it some spice.
Oh, yes, we did.
Yes, we did.
And a whole lot of chopped up green onions,
Little
right?
scallion as well, for sure.
Okay.
Put it into a container,
Yep.
wrapped it up into the fridge. The longer you obviously keep the marinade sort of going, the better and more flavorful it'll be.
Perfect.
Overnight
so
is preferable.
Overnight, so let's say we did this overnight, we've grilled them, and again, lightly, you're grilling them for a very short period of time.
High heat, get the caramelization going, like a minute and a half, maybe 2 minutes aside.
That's what's so great about this meat, right?
As we talked about before, it makes for a great sort of, as an appetizer or as a full entree, it's great for when you're having to talk with your guests and your party friends.
Exactly.
For sure.
Okay, so good. Okay, so let's move over to some of our vegetables. I love how you've dressed up this vegetable with a bacon wrap because bacon tastes great on everything.
Everything tastes better with bacon. I pared boiled, cooked, some new potatoes, wrapped them in a great pepper encrusted bacon, toothpick through and finish them off on the grill.
That's such
just
a
to toast
great
them up.
idea. I love that.
It looks great. It's great presentation.
It does.
Once it comes out and it's cool enough to handle, the toothpicks come out and the bacon
And
nice
it
and
just
hugs
holds
the
onto
potato
it.
beautifully.
That's such a great idea. And so just for people, again, I mean, not everybody will necessarily know what parboiling means, but basically you are just cooking it just a little tiny bit.
Cooking
right?
it all the way about to 80% done.
Okay.
So just a nice rapid boil, potatoes go in, salted water, and like I said, we'll cook it up to about 80%.
Okay.
And then once it's on the barbecue, it just finishes the
I love
way.
it. That is such
You
a
get
cool
crispy
idea.
bacon and this soft, fluffy potato inside.
Yum.
It's great.
Yum. Okay, and your beans?
My beans, I just like to keep things as simple as I can, let just the flavors stand for themselves. Beans right out of the hot water. I have a little bit of olive oil, some garlic, some salt, pepper, a little bit of lemon juice and lemon zest,
some lemon
and just a
juice.
quick toss. It's
Good.
lovely.
And there you go. That's your real healthy side of this whole meal,
That's
right?
about the healthiest as I get. Yes.
It's okay, right? Because you're
So,
probably
yeah.
having a beer with it or a glass of wine or something. So.
Have to have a glass of beer for sure.
All right, as you're plating, I'm going to mention as well, of course, you go into terragreenhouses.com for the recipes. And again, our show that we're so excited about is going to be airing at 11 a.m. as of Saturday, October 12th. So you can sleep in a little bit and you can watch our show and enjoy it in the mid-morning. So, and then you can catch up all these wonderful recipes that lovely Chef Iain is preparing for us. This looks fantastic. Perfect again as we, talking about stretching summer like no tomorrow. All right, that's it for now. Thank you.
Thank you
Have
so much
yourself a
for your time.
great weekend.